Inside Steven's Brain, Part 1 of many.
I
Got
see
it?
it.
All
Mhm.
right, cool. All right, so exciting or what?
Let's
Like those
see it.
graphs?
Yeah, to see these numbers. Show me the numbers, man.
Let's get to it. All right, so this is one of my loans,
Mhm.
and this is what I still owe, which I've been chunking away at it pretty good. So uh, this isn't the starting balance, and this also isn't the amount of interest I start off paying. So a lot of times when your first couple payments on your loan, like $50 goes to principal and like 1,000 whatever goes to everything else.
Damn.
So it's just like such a slow process to pay your principal off, and that's because the interest is front loaded. So you're paying off all the interest, and that's and so what an amortized loan is that you're paying part of the principal every month. But what they don't tell you is that it's front loaded. So you're paying all like the majority of the interest in the beginning, and then you're paying majority of the principal at the end of the loan. So the reason they do that is a lot of people don't keep their loan for more than 3, 4, or 5 years. So if they did that, they would hardly make any interest. A lot of people, they'll refinance or they'll sell the house or whatever. Life happens. And so
Wait, really? That's people normally people don't keep their loan for more than
very
5.
long, 5, 7 years maybe, because the way loans work and the way interest rates work and mortgage insurance and all of that, like a lot of times it makes sense to refinance, or a lot of times people move. I mean, people move pretty frequently
Dang,
because
that's
they have
crazy.
equity and they want to cash out, or
Mhm.
their needs change, they're downsizing, they're upsizing because their family is growing, they get relocated I mean, there's so many reasons why people
I feel
sell
like
their
that
house. People
yeah, I guess
divorce,
that kind of makes
situations
sense.
change. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
common. So for the longest time, that people would say 5 years is like about the average people stay in a
Hmm.
house. During the hard times, like the recession, people move less, um, because it's harder to move, can't get qualified, they don't have, hard times, they don't have the money to do it, their job history, whatever.
Mhm.
So during that hard recession time, it extended to like 7, 8, 9 years. It was longer, but now we're getting right back to the normal like 5 years cycle.
I feel like it's a short time frame. But
It
yeah, I
is, but
guess that can
imagine
make sense.
how much your life can change in 5 years,
Mhm.
especially when like you first buy your house, it's your beginner house. It's probably small. And then you start a family, you get married, you have a kid. You really quickly need to get bigger, bigger,
Mhm.
bigger. And then a lot of times people will sell because the equity, they want to cash out and get that money.
Mhm.
And then later on in life, it's because they're empty nesters and they got to downsize. So every 5 years, there can be some pretty big changes in people's life. Anyways, it's just an average amount of years. So with that being said, that's why banks do that. They're trying to make all their money up front before they sell the loan, before you know, the loan gets bought out or paid off. So with that being said, that's why this method works. That's why this method is so powerful, is because what you're doing is you're leapfrogging over the highest interest payments. So I'm now where I'm at is at least $240 of my payment is going towards principal. So it's starting to make a dent, especially month after month.
Mhm.
But, I obviously want to get the most paid per per mortgage payment every month. So that's my goal, is to keep paying these big chunks. And if you look here, so my payment is 775. That's just payment and interest. It's not taxes, insurance, any of that extra stuff. It's just the payment. Um, $535 of it goes to interest. $240 goes to principal. So what happens is if I make one extra payment of $775, I never have to make this interest payment. So by making a $775 payment, I save $535.
Making an extra one.
So you
Sorry,
make
okay.
your normal monthly payments, right?
Mhm.
Paying an additional $775, even if it's once per year,
Got it.
I'm saving $535 because I never have to make this interest payment.
Mhm.
I skip it. I jump it. So $775, you're writing that check, right? That goes straight to principal. So $775 comes off of the amount I owe. The whole $775 comes off of the amount I owe. So it's money I have to pay eventually anyways.
hmm
But on top of that, I never have to make this $535 interest payment. I just skip it.
And like at what point? At any time, any point throughout.
Any point.
Dang.
But that's why I like chunk payments. Because now with a chunk payment of $775, I know I never have to make that $535 payment. I know my savings and I know it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're making like an extra $25 payments per month, like it's just not doing the damage. It's just not leapfrogging you. It's just so incremental. It's better than nothing, but that's why I think the power is in chunking, in big payments. And where it gets really powerful is when you have a line of credit that is not amortized, so you're just paying interest only. You can do big payments of like $20,000.
Damn.
And if you do the math on a lot of that stuff, you are saving, $70,000 in interest by doing that. And even if you have an interest only payment on the line of credit, I've done the math on it, and you're saving, let's say I'm kind of just throwing out numbers, kind of guesstimating, but let's say I'm saving $535 of interest every single month. I'm only paying like $80 a month on the interest from the line of credit
On the
because
credit,
of the way that it's designed. So if I make that big chunk payment towards my mortgage, and then I just make those $80 payments, and then whatever extra I can to pay off that line of credit, I'm spending $80 to save $535 a month. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
And you're paying it off in the same amount of time because it's the same amount of principal. So it's not taking you any extra time or anything. It's literally just using the structure of the loan to benefit you, the different structures. Because these are front loaded, you're paying so much interest up front that when you use a different loan with a different structure, it's so much cheaper to pay these off and then pay it off at the same amount of time and save the front loaded interest.
So then, and then you're kind of just displacing the loan to a better type of loan almost.
Yes. Yep.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yep. You're leapfrogging over the like high interest, front loaded, high expensive payments
Mm-hmm.
and paying a very low interest payment.
That's crazy.
So people don't like even think about this kind of stuff.
Nah.
And it's so powerful. Like you could literally pay off if you are focused, you could pay off your house in like 7 years or something like that.
Damn.
If you like me, like I get off on this kind of stuff. So like I throw so much money at it that like my goal is like, I want to pay this house off in like 18 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just to me, like that's where I get my thrills.
It's like a
That's where
game.
I get yeah, exactly. But like it doesn't take a whole lot to pay off your house in 7 years, 10 years. Like that's way better than 30 years and have a house paid off free and clear.
Yeah.
That's super attainable for anybody. And then if you're really aggressive like me, where I throw as much at it as possible, yeah, like I could pay off a house every 2 years. And that's kind of like my goal right now is to buy a house and pay it off every 2 years.
Dang.
Can you imagine how powerful that is? Like have
That's huge,
paid off
man.
houses, have like in 10 years, have 5 paid off houses, 10 paid off houses, whatever. And I mean, you could be making like 20 grand a month off just rent.
Just rent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's It gets really exciting. And then when you think about what you're sacrificing, like, oh, I don't get my lattes anymore. But when you think about what you're building, it makes not having that latte like,
Nothing. Yeah,
who
like
cares?
whatever.
Like I'm gonna be, yeah, like you just have this ultimate higher goal.
That's freaking crazy. That's badass.